This is a flatbed printer.
Prints rich colors, but only in 2D.
This is a 3D printer. It stacks 3D structures, but few colors. And this is a 3D texture UV printer. Makes flat patterns raise, adds color to dull models. This is UV Make E1, the world's first true home UV printer. It lets you on almost any surface. Print rich, vibrant, embossed, commercial grade patterns. Commercial, grade, and DIY were opposite ends, but now we can have both. The UV in UV printer stands for ultraviolet. Right, the one you see on sunscreen. The UV protection rating. It's just like when we do nails, the UV from those frequent UV lamps. How UV printers work is pretty similar to doing nails. First, you apply color, then quickly cure it. The nozzle's at the spot, spraying ultra-adhesive pigment. The moment the nozzle sprays, a high-energy UV light sweeps it. The pigment quickly hardens. Unlike regular printers, which only spray ink on paper, this pigment can instantly cure on almost any surface. So UV printing overcomes most material limits. It prints on stone, metal, glass, plastic, leather. In short, anything can be printed. If we look closely, you'll find, no matter what smooth material, UV printing's accuracy and colors are excellent. Accurate, fine, glossy. Looks perfect. Easily prints exquisite, shelf-ready flat merch. This metal movie game posters, printed directly on aluminum alloy. It's very heavy. And the huge cards on PVC. Tiny acrylic cards. Just mirror, print the design on the back. It totally beats regular 2D printers. I'd even print some famous paintings to hang for an artistic vibe. This printer's 2D part didn't expect it's this powerful. This UV printer also has a unique ability. It's tactile printing. Because sprayed resin has volume once it cures. So it can, by repeating the spray, stack the pattern layer by layer. Create a relief effect. It can be up to 0.5 centimeters thick. Doesn't sound as impressive as a 3D printer, printing plastic out of thin air. But after using it for a while, this 0.5 cm can do a lot of interesting and useful things. Besides regular posters and photos, we can print masterpieces with real brush strokes, even cracks like the original. Here's Van Gogh's 3D Starry Night. The Museum of Modern Art in New York did a detailed 3D scan of its surface. So I downloaded their 3D model data, converted it to depth map info, then layered that depth onto the 2D image. This gave us the exact same brush strokes and textures as the original. The printer software can actually use AI, simulates paint textures, but real data is more accurate. You can tilt it to see the Starry Night surface, the oil paint's raised clumps. You can even touch it. Museums won't let you do that. This is too realistic. Is this how the Louvre got robbed? These designers' printers are practical too, like keycaps, customizable icon shortcut keycaps, paired with a cheap red keyboard. Editors, designers should all have one. And these really cool magic books.
Necromancy spellbooks.
Meteor, Fire, and Fairy spellbooks. They're all super beautiful. I bought some thick blank notebooks. Came back, gave them to Nano Banana to generate designs, then turned them into 3D. Prints are excellent. I feel like I could cast spells right away. Carve Wang Zizi's calligraphy on bamboo arrows. Wait. How would Wang Zizi write on an arrow? It can print on cylinders too. Its print platform's modular. Besides the included flatbed, you can get the matching rotary platform. So cups and bottles can be designed from scratch and printed. For larger things that can't fit in the printer, you can print on an adhesive transfer film, like shoes. Then use the laminator for a quick... After printing, it's a thick sticker. You can stick it anywhere. Among all these prints, this one's my favorite. The Switch 2 Limited. 'Cause it's what I always wanted, but never existed. Right now, what's most disappointing about 3D printing has skip, it's what comes out. Ugly. Not really ugly, it's just Plain, single color plastic with layer lines. Looks like a generic machine. You can spend time sanding and painting, but that's a whole nother skill. Takes time and effort. I usually don't do that. So my 3D print are mostly solid color plastic until I fed them into this printer. This is a free model I downloaded, a Kingdom Come Deliverance treasure chest organizer. Then I put it in, printed each side, flipping it once, and colored it all around. Now it looks like this. It directly prints colors and textures onto plastic. That's because even though this UV printer theoretically should work on flat surfaces, it's got a 2 ambient flatness tolerance. Those 2 might allow many somewhat flat things, but not perfectly flat items, to get colored. Like this 3D printed walls from a standee game, grass, and functional parts, and many more flat surfaces. I can use it for storage boxes to print fine text numbers, which compared to 3D printed text is more readable. Can also print on tools, logos, text descriptions, all kinds of content. Gives them a pro product feel. Unfortunately though, its 2 mem tolerance won't allow directly coloring things like figurines with so many bumps. I'm sure you've noticed since this printer arrived, it certainly hasn't been idle. I still have many things I want to customize, but it's time to talk about the printer. The UV-curable E1 itself. Its shape kind of looks like a
Space microwave.
It's slightly bigger than a microwave. Up top, there are 6 cartridge slots. Cyan, magenta, yellow, black, white, and highlight. Cartridges just click in. Open it, you'll see the print area. Mainly, it's a removable lift platform and a print head. It comes with 2 print platforms, a small and a standard size, with a comfortable latch for locking and unlocking. The small one just lifts. The standard one also moves front-back. The whole platform's about B3 size. For enough platform movement, it actually needs about 7 mm deep space. Max print height 6 cm. Before each print starts, it'll move the platform. It uses a laser to find the object's highest point. Then the middle camera takes a photo. That photo appears in the companion software. We just go into the software and drag what we want to print. The 3D patterns and reliefs we mentioned earlier are all adjusted in this software. You can upload your own depth map and adjust the relief height, or let AI do it. AI calculations will cost a few points. It'll infer depth info directly from 2D images. You get 200 free points each month. You won't use them all? Then just hit print, and it'll start working. Flat printing's faster. It's done in a few to 10 minutes. But for this 3D relief effect, that'll take a lot longer. This Hyrule 3D map took 5 hours. I think this machine is very close to my ideal Bamboo Lab moment for UV printers. It theoretically means there's lots of complex operations, like ink line maintenance, cleaning after long disuse, and filtering harmful gas emissions. These are all very complex
and intricate processes.
Now when we use it,
We just need to use it. Just treat it like a normal printer. Maintenance, management, calculations. The machine does automatically, even to prevent ink settling. Inside white cartridge, there's a small stirrer. It mixes regularly, like a small clock, with very complex, delicate cycles. And over months of use, E1's been very stable. Haven't had any jams or bugs. As a home UV printer, the first in its category. To do this, well, it's really surprised me. But I did find some issues. One's the smell. When UV ink cures, it does have a slight smell. They say this ink is eco-certified, no harmful volatiles. But if it's not vented, smells will build up. So it needs ventilation. Second, printer snapshots. They'll have distortion. It relies on photos for print placement. If photos aren't accurate, prints will be off. So try to center it for minimal distortion. Finally, let's talk about what concerns you most. Machine price, consumables, and maintenance. JD opened full pre-sale on the 12th. If interested, check JD for prices. Overseas, it's $2,299. Right. It's not cheap, but it's a pro machine. You can't just buy it to display. It needs to produce real value to earn back its cost. Which brings us to consumables. Of make E1, like most 2D printers, consumables are proprietary. A 100 milliliters ink bottle's 200 yuan, and you need a full set. 6 pigments to start it. Sounds pretty pricey, but I crunched numbers. The most common, a white base, plus a color layer. Average A4 print consumable cost
is about 5 to 8 yuan. Bigger, pricier, thicker, even higher. Like those with fine details, nail art, joystick caps, small things, less than $1. G-phones with a tactile feel, They're around 5-10 yuan.
Large oil paintings with real brushstrokes.
Could be 30-50 yuan. Can't compare costs with mass industrial production, but small.
Don't need to be too careful with costs.
It's still cheaper than my local print shop by quite a bit, so I think the 10,000 price tag is best for those already doing custom, handmade creative small businesses. Whether you're making small toys, crafts, or functional 3D prints,
Or woodworking, carving, ceramics.
before needing heat transfer, finding OEMs and enduring average quality, slow turnaround.
This machine lets you control
The next production step.
quality directly boosts your product collection. Its uses go far beyond this. Those interested can explore freely. A UV printer isn't an expensive big toy, though it brings a lot of joy. It immediately gives you positive feedback on your creations. What you want to achieve with a UV printer is usually about individuality, expression, aesthetics. It's really cool. I'll definitely run it at full capacity for a long time, but new tools just coming out, and machines always tend to be expensive. If you're just a bit curious and don't know what you do with it, you can observe the community first. See if any new uses appear. They might inspire you. I'll upload my cool prints to the Making Real community. You can get them there.